our chi vitality works in that same way that that these things move through our organ systems. And so Chinese medicine practitioners use this 24-hour body clock, and it really helps to determine the organ that's responsible for disease. Like, for example, if you're finding yourself waking up between the hours of 3 and 5 a.m. every morning, you may have an underlying grief or sadness that's bothering you, and you may have a condition in your lung area. And if feelings of anger or resentment arise, you may have a really strong feeling during the time of 1 to 3 a.m., and that's your liver. And perhaps you're experiencing some back pain at the end of your day. You could have some pent-up emotions of fear, or perhaps even kidney issues. So the body, will help us based on the time of day and where you're feeling some pain or emotion. The body is an energy clock, and it's built upon the concept of the cyclical ebb and flow of our energy through our body. And so during a 24-hour period, and as you can see in our diagram here, the chi flows into 24-hour intervals through the organ system. And so during our sleep, chi draws inward to restore the body. And this phase is completed between 1 and 3 a.m. So that's why it's really good to get to sleep, maybe before 11 p.m. so that by 1 and 3 a.m., your body's gone through that REM sleep and it's done that rest and digest, and you're cleaning your blood now. And your liver then just creates this myriad of functions that set the stage for your chi moving again. So in a 12-hour period, following these peaks functioning of the liver, from around 3 a.m. then onward, your energy cycles to the organs associated with your daily activity, like digestion and elimination, the lungs, large intestine, your stomach, your pancreas, your heart, your small intestine. So by mid-afternoon, energy again moves inward to support our internal organs associated with restoring and maintaining our system. So the purpose is to move fluids and heat, as well as to filter and cleanse by the pericardium, our triple burner, which coordinates the water functions and temperature in our body, our bladder, and our kidneys and our liver. And so all that happens in this 12-hour period. And it usually starts like the 12-hour period starts from 3 a.m. onward, is kind of what I was explaining. And then from 5 to 7 is the time of the large intestine, making it the perfect time for you to have a bowel movement and remove those toxins that you accumulated from the day before. And it's also really a good time to wash your body, comb your hair. It's believed that combing your hair helps to clear out energy from your mind. So when you have a nice comb and brush your head forward, back towards your neck and out, this combing helps you move that energy, clear your mind for the day. It's also a really good time for emotions of defensiveness or feelings of being stuck. They could all be evoked at this time, right? And then from 7 to 9 a.m. is the time of the stomach. So it's really important to eat our biggest meal of the day here if we're not fasting. If you're fasting, certainly don't, go according to this, move your schedule a little bit. And some of us do fast some of our days, but typically our body clock between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., that's when you hear your tummy growl. It's really important to eat our biggest meal of the day here. And so it kind of, this is what I'm meaning by breaking your fast. So if you are a faster, what I'd like you to do is make this first meal then, whenever you've decided to make your body break your fast, make that your biggest meal of the day. Optimize your digestion and your absorption. So if you make your last meal of the day your biggest meal, you're really decreasing your absorption. You're waiting for a lot of that digestion to occur during the night when you want to already have digested a lot of that food, right? And then you want to have warm meals. So what I mean by that is a lot of cold meals can create dampness within our body. And so if you're already overweight, eating cold meals is probably not a good thing for you. If you want to lose weight, warm meals that are high in nutrition are really best for us all day. But typically in the morning, you get your most bang for your buck out of a warm meal in the morning. Emotions are likely to be stirred at this time of the day, including disgusting or despair. Like we could really flare these emotions between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. You might feel these emotions being flared or stirred. You might think of these things, thoughts of disgust, thoughts of despair. So just know that, right? And know that that's coming and you're going to deal with it, right? And so then between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. is the time that our pancreas and our spleen works, where enzymes are released to help us digest food and release this energy for the day ahead, right? This is the really the ideal time for us to exercise. So that's why I have our class going now. That's why people work. That's why you do your most taxing tasks of the day at this time. And so typically emotions such as low self-esteem may be felt at this time because you're comparing yourself to others. You're usually doing exercise with others and you're working with other people and you're around other people that you're comparing yourself to. So sometimes you can have self-esteem issues at this time. And then between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. is the time for your heart. And then, so that's the time to work to pump nutrients around your body to help improve your heart and pericardium energy to help provide you with energy and nutrition. And this is also a good time to eat. Again, if you are eating 3 meals a day. But again, try to eat a light meal at this time and make sure it's typically a cooked meal, like a warm cooked meal. Those are better for to aid your digestion. Also between 11 and 1 is a good time to have a nice little nap. A nice little relaxation, take maybe a cup of herbal tea or a cup of whatever you want to enjoy yourself and relax. Sometimes you're going to feel though some extreme sadness or joy can be experienced at this time. Just know that and experience it. And then between 1 and 3 is the time of our small intestine. And this is when food eaten earlier will compete. So will compete for digestion. It wants to be assimilated. So whatever we've eaten, our small intestine is working on right now. And this is a really good time to go about your daily tasks, move, do some activity. Just don't sit there between 1 and 3 and be stagnant because your small intestine needs some help doing that digestion. And sometimes we're going to have some vulnerable thoughts during this time period. Where we feel vulnerable, we may have feelings of abandonment. We may have subconscious things arise at this time. Just know that. And just typically, if you move during this time period and not be stagnant, a lot of those emotions will just take their natural path and move. And you'll feel much better by 3 to 5. So, and then during 3 to 5 is when our bladder works. And so this is the time when metabolic wastes move into our kidneys and our kidneys filtrate them. So this is a perfect time of the day to do some nice study, to be quiet, to maybe have reflection time and do some brain challenging work during this time. Maybe another cup of tea, drinks a lot of water, I'd say. It helps in your detoxification from the small intestine that's happening, the filtration that's happening. You could also, during this 3 to 5 time period, feel irritated or have some really irritated feelings, and you may feel timid in your body. Maybe, as you're doing some of that that research that you're doing, you may have some times of reflection that may make you have triggers maybe that occur. But know that your bladder is being detoxified and that you are also detoxifying some of these filters, these things that move through your kidneys that help these emotional things move through. And then, so the kidneys then get an extra little pump. So our bladder is working, and now from 5 to 7, our kidneys take over. And this is when the blood is being filtered. The kidney did their job, or the bladder did their job, and the kidneys now work to maintain proper chemical balance in our body. This is really a perfect time to have our dinner and to activate your circulation after dinner by taking a nice little walk, maybe have a massage, do some gentle stretching. I have some nice gentle chi after dinner stretches that you can do to massage your belly right after dinner. And also know that your subconscious thoughts are going to really ruminate around fear or terror. And this can be really most active at this time of the day where you're more fearful. And it's your kidneys, again, filtering this out. Your bladder did it, your kidneys filtered it out, your blood now is moving this fear out. And so if you can work with it and let this fear leave your body rather than examine it and bring it back in, work with it, filter it out during this time period. And then now during 7 to 9 p.m. is the time of our circulation. So that's what I kind of led into that. We want this to circulate then, and these nutrients are carried to all the little capillaries that we have. Every single cell, excuse me, is being activated. Our mitochondria is being worked on. I'm taking a drink of water. But this is really the perfect time to avoid any mental activity. You know, it's a time where you want to just relax. You've been maybe having mental activities all day. This is time of day to let your body rest. Let your brain take a little break. The difficulties in expressing emotions maybe that we had. Maybe during the day, maybe we felt, oh, we didn't say this, we didn't say that. We may feel those some types of things. Now, if you're wanting to conceive, this is a perfect time between 7 and 9 p.m. And a lot of people miss this window. They usually do it from 10 or on, and they kind of miss that little conceiving window. This is a good time to have sex and to conceive a baby. So if you ever are thinking about that and you're having issues, just think about trying to do it between 7 and 9 p.m. And so then between 9 and 11 p.m. is our triple heater. And this is our endocrine system. We've done triple heater exercises where we've kind of brought in some of our energy, and then we've moved it out into our endocrine system. So our body's homeostasis could be adjusted and our enzymes replenished. So this is a good time to begin our sleep cycle and conserve our energy for the next day. You could a lot of times have, when we're calming down, we could have feelings of paranoia during this time. And we could also have thoughts and confusion. And so know that, and just realize that that could come, and just let it go, and don't let it create paranoia within you. Know that this is a thought from the day that you're needing to move through. Your chi needs to handle it, and it's just a feeling. And you don't need to turn it into a thought at this moment, right? Especially right when you want to rest. And then the 11 to 1 a.m., 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. is our gallbladder time. And in order to wake up feeling energized in the morning, our body should really be at rest during this time. So people who don't rest a lot between 11 and 1 could end up having gallbladder issues. Their gallbladder just does not get the healing that it so needs. And in Chinese medicine, this period of time is when the yin energy fades and our yang energy begins to grow. Yang energy helps you to keep active during the day, and it's stored when we're sleeping. So our subconscious feelings during this time period, hopefully you're sleeping, but resentment may appear during this time. And so I'm not saying you're going to have dreams of resentment if you're sleeping, but what our body does is it just naturally knows subconsciously to move these feelings out so that they don't bother us in our waking moments. And then from 1 to 3 a.m. is the time of the liver. So it is really good for our body to be asleep during 1 and 3 a.m. During this time, toxins are released from our body and fresh new blood's made. And if you find yourself waking up during this time, you could have too much yang energy or really have problems with your liver. If you're finding yourself waking up every morning at 3 a.m., your liver could have some detoxification pathway issues. And also, 3 a.m. is a time where we feel some anger, frustration, and rage leave us. And we may, have issues of that. So again, I want to caveat too, during our sleeping cycles, like between 11 and 1, if you keep waking up between 11 and 1, like if you fall asleep at 10 and then you find yourself waking up between 11 and 1, that typically means you may need to look at your gallbladder. Then if you fall asleep at 10 and you typically find yourself waking up between 1 and 3, that means that you may need to look at your liver. And then now I'm going to move on to the lungs. And so then if you find yourself waking up between 3 and 5, that's the time of your lungs. And it's the time, then if you find yourself waking up at this time, your lungs may need to be looked at, but it's also there's some nerve soothing exercises you can do, breathing exercises to do during the middle of the night. If you do find yourself waking up between 3 and 5 and can't get back to sleep. And ancestrally, this is a time when our ancestors did wake up. They followed the sun and their bodies started to naturally wake up between 3 and 5. And so it depends on where you are in the world and how you use your body. But if you're in America and you're a standard American diet, and you typically wake up between 3 and 5, that means that, and you want to sleep till 7, that means that there's something could be going on with your lungs. And so the body should be kept warm at this time. So what I'd like you to do from 11, whenever you go to sleep, 10 to 11 until 3 a.m., keep your room as cold as possible. Hopefully you maybe have a programmable heater in your home, and you can get your home really cold at night while you sleep. That would even really aid in your sleeping. And then have it warm up then. So by 5 a.m. your body's starting to warm up. Not really a lot more, but I crank mine up so about 5 to 6 a.m. it starts to crank up back to 72 again in my house. But that's when the body can be kept warm. It helps the lungs to replenish your oxygen in the lungs. And then during this time, if you do wake up, the lungs can also have associated feelings of grief and sadness. So I know when I was going through a lot of my grief and sadness, I would wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. and have a lot of memories and sad grief. And luckily, I would, at first I didn't, but now I know, and I have been since, doing Qigong breathing movements. And a lot of times I just do them right when I'm sleeping, and I just roll over and go back to sleep, thank goodness. But understanding how every organ has this repair maintenance schedule can really keep us on a, can really help us on a daily basis and just keep us in flow with our qi. Now that you know this, right, you know another level. So this qi has so many layers and so many opportunities to learn to treat ourselves better and to improve our health and well-being. And it also allows us to identify which organ system in our body may need some help. This is a diagnostic tool again. It helps determine those emotional needs that need to be cleared in our body, and strengthening and resolve that we may need. And it helps then for us to know that so we can work on it, right? Rather than let it just sit there. And we can use symptoms and these body cues as a guide to connect us. So when you, so a lot of times we have this connection, and such that you can get sleepy between 5 and 7 p.m. Don't hesitate to research what you can do to strengthen your meridian, which is your kidney meridian, by the way. So if you get really tired between 5 and 7 p.m., there is a solution for your deficient kidneys. And so what you could do is have a sweet potato for breakfast. So what that does is it energizes that meridian, that your kidney then gets some of this beneficial energy that it needs. So try it out. See if you are, most of us are having, I would say 60% of America has some form of kidney disease, and they have no idea of it even. 30% of us know we have kidney disease, and we're working on it. But so what that does, notice it, have a little sweet potato with your breakfast, that warm sweet potato. I know, maybe have a savory breakfast. Savory breakfasts are really good. A lot of times I'll have warm sweet potato with some spinach and kale on a bed of eggs and rice. Really nice warm meal to break your fast. And see if that sweet potato helps your kidney meridian, and you're not tired then between that 5 and 7 p.m. that you normally would want to take a nap. So then what that will do, so if you do take that nap between 5 and 7 p.m., then you're messing your whole body clock up. And so you took that nap, now you're going to be up, your gallbladder meridian now didn't get replenished, and you're entering into starting to sleep during your liver meridian, which is the 1 to 3, and you're really messing that up. So if you take a look, at this chart and see, all the different things that it can help you to achieve, the emotional aspects it can release, the fears you're holding back, it can really help you to release things and reach your true potential. We've been talking a lot about potential, right? And there's many things you can identify. Are you afraid of rejection, right? Hey, I get those feelings. I'm a person that has a perfectionist. I like things to appear the way they should. I'm a teacher, so I want you to be knowing of all things at once. So I want to make sure that I have all my tools gathered, my teaching tools gathered to present to you, and so that I can, but then if I may not teach you properly, you could reject my material. But I have to not beat myself up about that. I may have a fear of failure about that. I'm going to push that threshold because I may have that. I'm going to address that emotion that I have. What are you going to do? What fear do you have? What failure do you want to address? and strengthen your organ, improve your physical health. And guess what? When you do it, it's forever. I just said that. When you do it, it's forever. This transferable knowledge that you now are gaining, you can use at any time of the day. And I'm just showing you this clock. It's also giving you a good idea of our elements. And so you know now some chi elemental sounds. And now if you use those elemental sounds during these times of the day as well, you're going to get a bump up effect, you know, like I usually like to say, I'm going to bump it up a notch, and you do. And all this is onion peeling and onion expanding. So you're gaining and contracting. This is just such a lovely exercise and a lovely practice in I don't want to share anymore. Stop here. There we go. This is such a lovely practice for you to identify your body and what works for you, what works for your well-being. Everyone is different. And now that you know this little bit of information, how are you going to use it in your day, right? How are you going to kick it up a notch and take this information and activate it within yourself? Bring this emotional knowledge, you know, that go along with your organs, right? It really does help. I mean, when you know that your emotions can get stuck inside your body, a lot of psychologists don't teach us that. They think it's all in the head, and they really get it. It's a mind game more than anything, but it's really not. A lot of our emotions just they have nowhere else to go. Our head can't hold, and they get trapped within our body, and they need to be released. I mean, I'm perfect evidence right now with my leg. There's some definite sensational things happening in my leg. Your femoral nerve has this. There's a certain nerve root at the moment, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't make your muscle move. It you know you can't even try to make it move if you wanted to. It can be stimulated. It's a sensational nerve. It sends, and so that just tells me a lot right there. It sends sensation down your leg. That's all it does. Is it and so that tells us that we have emotions. We have our nerves have sensational nerves. They have nerves that want us to sense things. Of course, we feel and touch. But all this big nerve does is it sends sensory nerves down our legs. And our scientific community hasn't even begun to figure out our sensory nerves yet and exactly what they do to release or hold energy. And I think I'm getting a clue, honestly, a little bit about it. And I'm going to keep going down this path because I do know it held a lot of energy for me. I released a lot of the stagnant energy, and I just know it helped my body. And I wanted to help yours. I hope you can identify where in your body you have some thinking that you can transfer out, maybe. And this can help activate that. Let's move some chi. I talked a lot today, and this is a kind of a longer class, but I would like to have us do a little chi movie today. And hopefully, we can get some of this movement that we want down, right? And just a second. Hold on, apologize. Okay, I had a little curriculum sitting out of what I wanted to do. So I want to do bear walking, and I also wanted to do some wrist flow crossing, and I just have a little diagram of it all. All right, so we're gonna just start. We did a lot of talking. We are gonna just do the thing that we really like to do, twist the waist. And we're gonna bump it up a little notch. We're gonna shift our weight, and we're gonna open up some of those chi meridians that I was talking about. So I want you to just get into that Wu Chi position. Listen to your body. Wake up this energy. And we are just gonna go right into knocking on the door of life. Because we already just talked a lot about that energy. So what I'd like you to do, start twisting from your waist and hips. Wake up that spine and hips. Just gently breathe in your nose, out your mouth, twist from your waist and hips. Gently relax your arms and shoulders, let your hands flop around. All right. We're gonna do this deer frolicking, like I said, and we're gonna do bear walking and deer frolicking. So we're gonna take our first finger and pinky and thumb, and we're just gonna do some emotional releasing today. We talked all about this, emotional release, and we're just gonna shift our weight back and forth, and oh my goodness. Anyway, my earbud doesn't wanna work.
And your
What?
fingers touch your thumb.
There you go. I apologize. All right. So, deer frolicking. And so we're just going to get in that Wu Chi position. So I'm sorry I interrupted us here. And we're going to put one foot over, have your hands out, fingers up, and we're just going to do a little weight shift as we move our head up here, and we're going to frolic back and move our hands back here and lift up. Just like we're a deer moving through the woods, we're just shifting our weight. Our hands are moving up and back as we're shifting the weight back and forth. Just like a deer frolicking, we're getting that energy release that we were just talking about from the day. Lift that chin up as you go. I really wasn't showing you that part. Get that chin lifted up. Straighten that knee as you come forward. And just feel that stretch. Breathe. Exhale here. Inhale. All right, let's shift to the other side. Foot out. And you're just going to then go out, lift your head up, and then come back. Up and back. In, and then breathe out. Breathe in, and just feel that nice release in your head and neck and your upper shoulders. You're just like a deer running through the woods. You can go as fast or as slow here as you'd like. Don't want you to extend your foot over the top of your knee as you're frolicking. And lift that head up, feel that stretch of the head and neck as you come down. And it's stretching with your fingers being up here, is stretching that heart and pericardium. And breathe. All right. So, take a little bit of a wider stance now. Just a little bit, not a big one. We're still healing here. And so this time we're going to take our hands over. I said we're going to do this wrist crossing. So what this really does is it crosses the energy over and our hands move and it crosses and we're going to draw a bow. So we're going to do this hands crossing movement. So it does this energetic crossing here of our hands. And then we're going to go like this and then bend down like we're pulling an arrow and shoot the arrow. And we're going to come back over, cross our arms over here, and then come back down and shoot the arrow. So come back over, cross those hands over, bend down a little bit here, start turning your head, pulling that arrow, put your hand here under your armpit like a bow. You're going to pull, and release over here. I'd like you to have your 2 fingers up here as you come down. Feel that arrow and like you're pulling it and it's going through your hand right here. So let's cross over here and come down. And pull. In. Out. Release that when you breathe out here. Nice big push of that energy. Here you can step up just a little bit here, stand up taller. You're bringing this lovely energy in. And now you're going to release what no longer serves you because it's coming by your heart, your pericardium here, and let it go. And you do this in a chair. This nice movement back and forth. Crossing over. This crisscrossing movement pulls in energy, pieces, and creates the, right there is where it created that release that you so want. And when you bend down, it's like you're gathering that energy up, pulling it away. This is one of my most favorite exercises. It's part of the one of the 8-piece brocade or the Badwan Jin that I may be teaching soon. The 8-piece brocade is a very nice exercise that most people in China do every single day. All right, so what I'd like us to do now is just come a little bit forward. We're just going to release our shoulders, release some of the tension we've had in our hands and arms. Let's just hang forward. I just want you to gently just roll forward. If you're in a chair, just gently roll forward. I want you to just feel the tension as it releases head and neck, your shoulders. Just let it all come down. Just release that tension. Bend your knees slightly. And just feel it coming and just release this tension. Just hang for a few minutes. Just release. Go only as far as your body allows and pull yourself up. And then up to the heavens and release. All right. So this next one is the bear that we were talking about. And so we're just going to go to the side here a little bit and if you can, keep your hand here. Your foot is gonna be out in the back. And knee never over the top outside of your foot. And so what we're going to be doing is, it's gonna be the same kind of thing we're doing. We're gonna lift and raise up and then sink down, right? So we're just gonna be, as we raise up, we're gonna come up here. And then we're just gonna sink down, and I only want your foot to go over the top, never go over the top of your foot, and then come up. So we're just doing this nice, gentle movement. And this builds strength in our arms and legs. It gets that triple heater that I was talking about moving. Slide those hands up, breathe in, and then breathe out. Feel yourself getting a little tall here. Feel the strength in your lower legs. And breathe in. Feel your arms reaching up. Feel your intercostals expanding. Bear first wakes up. Bear from his hibernation. The bear has to pump energy and wake up. All right, let's go to the center and clear some of that energy. So hands to the center, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, touch. Inhale. Exhale, touch. All right, so now we're just going to move on the other side and do that same exact thing that we just did. So put your foot out, just get comfortable, feel where your comfortable position is. Never have your knee over your top of your foot. And then we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to outstretch our hands and then lifting up. Breathing in and breathing out. And the bear has to get all that energy pumped in that big body. So it has to do a lot of breathing and a lot of pumping its body. So I can go. Strengthening all of those meridians that are associated with our kidneys. We're doing a nice kidney stretch on either side here. And I'm sure you can even feel that kidney as you're, I know I'm feeling it. Right. Let's shake it out a minute. All right. Oh, let's get some of that. Some of that release. Breathe in your nose, out your mouth. Just really bring it out. Let all that tension go. Store it up in our shoulders and arms. All right, let's move our hands up. Then we're going to do the chi massage. So what I'd like you to do now, put your hand on the top of your head, and we're just going to start this chi massage by, this is a really good one. If you have any heart issues or you have any issues with how your your lymphatic system, the flow of chi, really this helps. So each time I usually do like several times during the day. I do this 9 times. But you don't have to do, I mean, it really doesn't matter. It just needs some extra loving. It gets congested right here. Breathe into it. Just slight cup of your hand, gently tapping under your armpit, right? Very simple. Keep your hand on the top of your head, holding that chi, right? Let that chi circulate. So what it's doing with your hand in here, it's just helping, it's giving a boost to your lymphatic system. It's not going out, it's staying within, right? All right, so let's just do some tapping on our body. We're gonna tap on our arm. We did some nice tapping yesterday in clearing, so we're just gonna do some nice tapping here. 3 times on this arm. Let's come across, outside of the arm. Side. Side. Just gentle tapping. Let's tap on here. Gentle tapping, let's move down. Let's do some nice tapping on our hips. If you have any spleen issues, this is a good one for your spleen, for spleen release. Digestion. So now let's cup our hands, just put it on the back outside of our legs. Inside. Here, love there. One more time. Outside of our legs, inside. Nice cupping. Get that energy meridian moving. One more time. Right. So now we're just going to finish with a little clearing of this energy. We just moved a whole lot of energy. So what I'd like you to do, get in the Wuchi position, and we're just going to gently take our hands up. Just going to lift our hands up, cross our hands over like we did that, and we're just going to bring it up. So it's a gentle crossing. This energy up, crossing our hands over our heart. Your heart. Over. Some further clearing. Energy to start energy. This is some of that emotional energy that we stored up. Potential that is that okay. We're gonna move up to the top. So now we're bringing in the spiritual aspect. So we're still let's do hands together. Feel your body, touch base. You're doing now that you know your body. What are you gonna do with that information? So we Send you, something like that. So, here they are. All right, well, thank you so very much. I enjoyed our class today. I was called to teach you the 12-hour cycle in traditional Chinese medicine, and I hope you really got something out of it. I know I did. A class was way longer than usual because of it, but we did a lot of talking. So we did a tiny bit of chi moving. But just know, during this time is when we really need to build that bone marrow, right? That we do during exercise, and we need to do this repair, right? That we do. And so I love that, you were, with me, and you're on this journey with me. I'm gonna show up. I hope you do, and we're just gonna learn more every day and move our chi, and who knows what happens. We'll see. So yeah, drink your water. Let's ground that lovely energy. But you go out and make it a great day. I will. We're having, like I said, we're having a snowstorm here. And we're gonna get another, we just got like, I think 6 inches. We're gonna get another 18. So, and then it's gonna be blizzarding, like, blowing, you can't even leave the house. So I'm looking forward to it.